It is time for Daring Abroad. Tonight, the dispatch is from Ghana, formerly known as the Gold Coast, where Kenyans have also dared invest.
Our special correspondent Alex Chamwada brings us the story of Caroline Ochieng, who makes a living from selling shoes in Accra City. Take a look.
Welcome to Accra, the capital city of Ghana. The word for welcome here is Akwaba.
Karibu, this is...
We meet Caroline Ochieng, who decided that selling shoes was what would make her tick, so to speak, in this foreign land.
Karibu.
She has been here for 6 years now. She owns 5 butter shoe shops.
One I want is black, not brown.
This is not brown.
Not black.
This is navy.
Yeah.
Caroline is married to Alex Chamwada, who is the sales director of Guinness Ghana. They have 3 children, a boy and 2 twin girls.
This whole move to Ghana began when my husband was sent here to come and start up a business. I was at that time working for East African breweries, and they asked that since they could second me for the length of time my husband was going to be in Ghana, to Guinness Ghana, who is a sister company. So I came here, worked for Guinness Ghana for a year, slightly over a year and a few months, and then decided that between my husband and I that I was going to take a break from the corporate world, take care of the children and him, and also start a small biashara on the side.
The first step, she says, was market research, with her training in marketing coming in handy.
We started looking for franchising for butter. There was nothing. So I got their Switzerland office and wrote to them, and it took a very long time to get back. So calling, writing, and about 6 months down the line, somebody wrote to me and referred me to the Singapore office. The Singapore office had a franchising then for Asia, but they had never done franchising in Africa. They knew the Ghanaian market. Butter used to be here about 30 years ago, and they closed up when this whole nationalization, when there was a change of regime and things didn't work out. And when they came in, they were coming to see different people, plus us.
Then came the moment to present the idea.
And in about 4 months, the deal was concluded. So they chose us as opposed to the others who are much more financially stable and people who've been in this market for a long time.
For a startup to take off, capital is very crucial, and one may ask, so how did Caroline go about funding for such a huge investment?
No bank here would touch us because we didn't have collateral, we didn't own a house, we didn't own anything. You need to go and give your house for you to get the finances. So we went back home. We used our house as the collateral and got a loan of almost 20 million Kenyan shillings from Standard Chartered.
The fees for business permits as well as work permits depends on the size of the investment.
For you to start a business in Ghana, you have to bring in $300,000, the startup capital, and it has to come from outside. The stock you bring, anything you bring in for the business can be counted as part of the capital. Now for Ghana, there's a Ghana Investment Board. It's very clear, 300,000, that's the startup capital. Then they will give you, if you want 2 work permits for foreigners or whoever you need that's not a non-Ghanaian to work. But if you want more than that, you have to invest more. So it goes going up. If you need for 4 people, you need 450. If you need for more, $600,000.
But is it all rosy for Caroline? Is the business worth her energy?
Everything here is almost double the price, because by the time you land in your goods, you paid double that price. Business has been challenging for 2 reasons. Number one, the economy in Ghana has been going through a recession. The last 2 years, the CD has been free falling against the dollar. But I can say we are breaking even. I know things are going to look up, so I'm in here for the long haul.
In total, she has 60 employees, out of which 2 are Kenyans.
Now, since we began, we were the only formal retail store. But now, since we came, the American Payless Shoes is a chain, America, huge chain, are in. South Africa, the Jet Group, the owners of Edgar's are here, and they do a big footwear. So the competition is stiff, but I believe there's room for everybody. Most of the stock here is Singapore, Malaysia, South Africa, and a little bit of Kenya on the ngomas and the pata. We ship out of South Africa because that's where we consolidate, but most of the stock now, we go for our buying meetings in Singapore 4 times a year.
Why Singapore? Why not?
Because Singapore had a franchising before. They have a very good way of running the franchising. So the Asia countries, Thailand, Vietnam, Myanmar, all come there. And so Africa was added. I was the first franchise for Africa. Kenya doesn't come. Kenya is a company, so they don't do franchising. This is a meeting for franchisees.
And who are Caroline's clients?
Everybody. Butter is a family store. Although my butter here is slightly different concept from Kenya, I'm more high-end because my clients like high-end things. West Africans generally prefer very fashionable, very flashy things. So that's why I even buy from Singapore.
Now on to Caroline's family background.
I'm from the east side of the country. So when you hear Ochieng, everybody always assumes that I am actually from the west side. But I'm a Kamba, married to a Luo from Seme, so I'm Nyaseme. My husband is actually my rock. He's always the brain, he's always the strategist. I am the doer.
Before moving to Guinness, Ghana, Caroline's husband worked for mobile phone company Zain, which later became Airtel.
He was actually the sales and distribution director for Africa for Airtel Anglophone. So when he was sent here, he's the one who came to start up the business in Ghana.
So they live miles and miles away from their homeland. But they say, east or west, family responsibilities back home will always come knocking.
I'm a firstborn of 9 children. Additionally, we have extended family who you never quite get yourself out of. We are Africans. You can't be here having money and your cousin is not going to school.
And you'll be surprised to hear that one of the 2 Kenyans Caroline has employed is her former house help in Kenya, Cecilia, who transformed herself to become a manager in one of Caroline's stores in Accra.
She taught herself how to laptop. She bought herself one. She's amazing. And she has 2 daughters. She's a single mother. She didn't have land because she's an only girl in a family of many boys. So traditionally, the girls are not given any land by their father. So she's been able to get something to take care of her children. She's taken her children to school.
And that's daring abroad.